My name is Tom Cooper and I'm the Development Manager for Glengarry Community Development Trust. The organisation was formed in 2015 when the community here in Glengarry came together to buy this community woodland, 30 hectares of land, which then the Forestry Commission put up for sale. And I think the community could see some of the opportunities here of bringing this into community ownership, and began on the long process set out in the National Forest Land Scheme, as it was then, to buy the forest. And the land was eventually transferred to the community in December 2015. Starting a community group like this one is not an easy thing to do. I think the community were working for a good 2 years on the sort of pre-acquisition work from 2014 through 15 to buy this site. With every year that has passed, the group has grown in experience. There's absolutely no doubt that we have that capacity has been built within the group itself and within the board, and as we've all learned from our experiences and through connecting with other groups and going to conferences and things like that. Over the years, the organisation has grown quite significantly, and we've taken on more land and a much wider range of projects for the community. And we now really operate as a development trust, and that's why at our last AGM a few months ago, we voted to change our name to Glengarry Community Development Trust, which better reflects our role in the community. But the organisation really, like I say, started out as a community woodland group, and the activities we did were very much in line with many other community woodland groups across Scotland. We did a lot of environmental education with the primary school. We ran forest school clubs. I'm a forest school leader. We set up forest school clubs, which we ran during the school holidays. We put on sort of community-wide events to kind of bring people into the area, and really to kind of use the woodland as a venue for, sharing experiences and kind of bringing people together. We started selling firewood in 2017, and that was really good kind of output of the woodland. It helped us to generate a bit of revenue from our management of the woodland, and helps in the process of restoring some of the habitats that we want to restore here. Most of this woodland is a plantation on ancient woodland site. As we gradually restore some of those ancient woodland habitats, a lot of non-native timber comes out, and so we're selling that off as firewood. But things really started to pick up in about 2018, 2019. We started looking at these bits of land that were coming up for sale and really thinking about what opportunities could ownership of this land bring for the community. And we started looking at housing and working with the community's housing trust at developing projects to address local needs. Maintaining populations or kind of sustaining populations in rural areas like this is incredibly important, and some of the challenges that Glengarry has are exactly the same challenges that other Highland communities and other rural communities have. There's absolutely no doubt that the pattern of land ownership in Glengarry has had an impact on the development of this community. The limits to accessing land for new housing, the challenges of getting your hands on small areas of land for small-scale management, such as creating new crofts, has really, I think, held the community back. I think there's no doubt about that, and I think one of the things that we have found as an organisation is that we have the mechanism in a way to kind of address that. So the community empowerment legislation in Scotland allows communities of geography who have formed companies like ours to buy land through the asset transfer scheme, and that in some ways means that we are kind of addressing that historical situation that has led to this land ownership pattern. Well, one of our biggest projects is our Woodland Crofts project at Ardachie, where we are planning to establish 6 woodland crofts and to build 4 affordable houses in partnership with the Communities Housing Trust. And that really will play a really important part in kind of addressing the issue of balancing the demography of this community, addressing the trends of inward migration of retired people and outward migration of younger people. There's absolutely no doubt that there are a lot of younger people that really want to live in rural areas and manage crofts, and I think changes in the way people live and work means that you can live remote from your workplace and still, have a job. And I think there's absolutely no doubt that if we can establish these crofts and new affordable houses, we will have no end of interest in kind of populating them, and we can use those projects to help balance the demography in Glengarry really, and keep the primary school open.